Friends, welcome back. Here is our first question from case-based scenarios of CA Final Paper 3 Audit. Question number 1. MN and Associate Chartered Accountants are newly appointed as statutory auditors and tax auditors for financial year 2019-20 of Gentleman Distillery Limited. CAM, partner of MN and Associates, is the head of the statutory and tax audit department. CAM assigned the above assignment of both tax audit and the statutory audit to team comprising of following team members. CA Mukul, employee, Mr. Rahul, senior paid assistant, Mr. Lalit, senior articled assistant, Mr. Prashant, articled assistant. Following issues were reported by Mr. Rahul to CA Mukul regarding statutory audit. Recently, the company, with effect from 1st January 2020, has changed their terms with its major suppliers from credit by suppliers as the company could not pay as per the credit terms recently. So, what this point is saying, creditors insisted upon the company to pay cash on delivery regardless of the credit of 60 days which was provided earlier, because the company is not paying as per the credit terms agreed. So this was the one point which was raised by Mr. Rahul. And the second point, the confirmation request was sent to 18 debtors to confirm year-end balance as on 31st of March 2020. The request was designed in the form of positive confirmation. However, the responses were received from only 2 debtors. So what Mr. Rahul did, he sent confirmation letters from debtors to 18 debtors. He sent it to 18 debtors. However, he has received the response only from 2 debtors. And the third point, grandfather of Mr. M was holding 50,000 shares of face value of rupees 10 each till 1st of September 2019 in the company from past 3 years. So, grandfather of Mr. M is holding some shares from the past 3 years till 2019 September 1st. The fourth point is the trade payables consist of outstanding dues of various creditors as follows. Micro enterprises 60 crores, medium enterprises 40 crores, small enterprises 45 crores, and others is 50 crores. Further, the creditors outstanding for more than 6 months as on the balance sheet date are 40 crores out of the above. So, out of these MSME doing tax audit, Form 3CD of another client, Jinasom Limited, we'll call it as G Limited for the time being, seeks the help of his senior, Mr. Rahul, on the following issues. What were the issues? The issue number 1 is during the financial year 1920, the company has purchased a plot of land at Sitarganj having stamp duty value of 31 lakhs at a consideration of 30 lakhs. So here it was misprinted. It is 30 lakhs actually. The plot has been purchased from Mr. K, who is not related to G Limited. Okay, the stamp value is 31 lakhs. However, the company purchased from an unrelated party, Mr. K, at 30 lakhs. Okay, there is no any suppression of the interest or whatever on the part of the company because Mr. K is a non-related party. The company has paid state excise duty. Due date of payment is 5th of next month. On alcohol for the months of August 5 lakhs, September 3 lakhs, October 4 lakhs, and March 2 lakhs on 5th of June 2020. The same is not disputed. The excise duty has been debited to the profit and loss account. What this company has did, it has paid the dues of August, September, October, and March in June 2020. Hope you are clear with this point. Now we'll go through the questions. Based on the above facts, answer the following. So there are few questions which were asked to us. The first question was, based on the above data, advise as a statutory or tax audit report in Form 3CD. See here, this plot was purchased from Mr. K. This was clearly been informed that Mr. K is a not related party. So there is no need of any disclosure in Form 3CD, that is our tax audit report. We'll go through the points. Option A, an amount of 1 lakh shall be reported under clause 29. An amount of 50,000 shall be reported under clause 29B. Option C, an amount of 1 lakh shall be reported under clause 29B. Option D, no reporting requirements will arise in Form 3CD. Since Mr. K is a not related party, no such reporting requirements arise in Form 3CD. Hope you are clear. And with this, I want to refer from clause 29 of tax audit report. See, we'll go to 29. See, clause 29 of tax audit report says, where during the previous year, the SSC received any consideration for issue of shares which exceeds the fair market value of shares as referred to in section 56 subsection 2 clause 7b, if S. Please furnish the details of the same. Here the SSC has not issued any shares. So whatever the option that is given, so this option A shall be reported under clause 29. This is nowhere related to the issue because here the company hasn't issued any shares. And we'll also go through clause 29B of tax audit report also. Clause 29B. See, here is our clause 29B. What is referred to in 56 to 10. So there is no such income arising on purchase of plot. Hope you are clear. But still we'll go through section 56 to subsection clause 10 also. This section provides that where any person receives from any person or persons an amount exceeding 50,000 without consideration, then he needs to declare such income as income from other sources subject to certain exemptions. Any immovable property without consideration, the stamp duty value of which exceeds 50,000, or for a consideration which is less than the stamp duty value of the property by an amount exceeding 50,000, the stamp duty value of such property as exceeds such consideration. Any property other than immovable property. Without consideration, the aggregate fair value of which exceeds 50,000, the whole aggregate fair value of such property, or for a consideration which is less than the aggregate fair market value of the property by an amount exceeding 50,000. The aggregate fair value of such property as excess of such consideration. Then he needs to declare such amount as income from other sources subject to certain exemptions. So what this section 56 says is, if you are receiving any property without any consideration, here you are paying 30 lakhs as consideration to the property, because the question says, see, this particular point, during the financial year the company has purchased a plot of land at Sitarganj having stamp consideration. So clause 29 and clause 29B are not relevant to this case. Hope you are clear with this point. If you are not clear, please comment below. I'll explain the issue again. We'll go through the second question. As a statutory auditor of G Limited, state the aggregate amount which shall be reported under clause 7 of part 3 of CORO 2016 on account of late payment of state excise duty. Before going to answer this question, I want you to be clear that clause 7 of CORO 2016 states that if you are not paying any statutory liabilities, and this statutory liability is outstanding for more than 6 months as on the date of balance sheet, then such liabilities this has to be disclosed by the statutory auditor under Caro reporting. So we'll go through this point where this state excise duty has been given. See, here it has been given the company has paid state excise duty on alcohol for the months of August, September, October, and March in June. So we'll count the number of months for which they are outstanding. First, we'll count for August. For August, the due date is 5th of September. However, the payment has been made in 5th of June. There is a time gap of 7 months. We'll count it. There is a time gap of 6 months, more than 6 months. September 5th is the due date. We have not paid. So we'll count from there. Due date, you need to count the 6 months from the due date, not from the date from which it is paid. So March 5th, from March 6th onwards, the payment is exceeding 6 months. It is due for more than 6 months. So August is the month for which the payment has been due for more than 6 months as on the date of balance sheet. Hope you are clear with this point. For September, it will be 5 months. For October, it will be 4 months. For March, anyway, it is the due date is falling in the next financial year, that is 5th of April. So under clause 7 of Caro, you need to report only the payment that is due for more than 6 months. Also, such payment has to be undisputed. Here, the question says the same is not disputed. So, this particular payment is undisputed. However, the company hasn't paid for more than 6 months. So, August month payment of 5 lakhs is due for more than 6 months as on the date of balance sheet. So, option A will be our answer. So as per the as a statutory auditor, you need to report 5 lakhs excise duty payment, that is the late payment for the month of August under clause 4 of para 3 of Caro 2016. Hope you are clear with this point. And then the third question, what amount of dues of trade payables shall be separately disclosed in the balance sheet as per division 1 of schedule 3? What was this division 1 of schedule 3? It is the trade payables. What we need to disclose? It is like total trade payables which you need to disclose. Total trade payables comes to how much? We'll go through the question again. See, the trade payables consist of statutory dues of various creditors as follows. Micro 60, 100 plus 45, 145. So under division 1 of schedule 3, you need to disclose dues from micros, medium and small enterprises. So the answer would be 145 crores. So we'll read all the options. Option A, 40 crores outstanding for more than 6 months. No, as per division 1, you need to disclose micro, medium, small enterprises. This it means MSME. All the MSME dues has to be reported. And then option B, 105 crores due to MSME. No, because we identified that total is 145. Even this option is wrong. Option C, 145 crores due to MSME. Yes, this is the correct option that we need to disclose. Question 4. Based on the above data, advise as a tax auditor how the reporting under clause 26 shall be done in tax audit report in form 3CD regarding the state excise duty. So as per 26 of form 3CD, clause 26 of form 3CD, what it says, we have to subset 26A and 26B. And 26A also contains option A and B, and 26B, clause 26B also contains A and B subclauses. We'll go through these subclauses first. 26, right? We'll go through clause 26. Just a second. Yes, here is our clause 26, section 26 of tax audit. Sorry, serial number 26 of tax audit report. What option A says? 26A says, pre-existed on the first day of previous year but was not allowed in the assessment of any preceding previous years. So here the question says state excise duty. However, the point of state excise duty, if we go through this point again, the company has paid state excise duty on alcohol for the months of August, September, October and March. So there is nothing which is outstanding as on the first day of the financial year. So section 20, serial number 26A doesn't fall for this section. This point doesn't fall under 26A. Hope you are clear. You understood what I'm saying, because 26A says pre-existed on the first day of previous year. So the whatever the information given in the question says that the payment is due firstly in the month of August, so it is not existing as on the first day of previous year. 26B, it says, was incurred in the previous year and was paid on or before the due date of furnishing of return of income of the previous year under section 139(1). First point is 26B comes because it is incurred during the previous financial year. But now you need to decide whether it falls under A category or B category. A category says you need to pay on or before the due date of filing of return. For a tax audit SSC, the due date of filing of return is beyond the June. That was sure, because we know that the due date for an individual SSC itself is in July. So even if you don't know the due date of filing of return of a company or a SSC falling for tax audit, one thing you are sure that the due date for filing of return for a tax audit SSC is not in June. So it will be in September. So you are clear with that point. But the payment has been made before the due date. So option will be 26BA. Hope you are clear with this point. It was serial number 26, clause B, subclause A of tax audit report form 3CD. We'll go through the options. See, here is our options. Option A, amount of 14 lakhs shall be reported under clause 26AB. So 26A doesn't come only, first of all. So option A, option B, by going through without even going through the options, you can clearly say 26A and B are not relevant only. Because what 26A says, it has to be due as on the first day of the previous financial year. So here it is incurred during the financial year. So you need to choose from option C and D. 14 lakhs shall be reported under clause 26BB. No, what we decided 26BA is our final answer. So option D is the correct answer. Amount of 14 lakhs shall be reported under clause 26BA. Hope you are clear with this case study. See, these were the answers which was given. Hope you are clear with this case study. And if you want me to explain anything further, you please comment below. I'll explain you. Don't worry, we'll be completing the entire case studies and MCQs maximum by 30th of April. Because if I discuss more than one or more than 10 questions in a single video, it will be a very lengthy video and it will also waste your time, first of all, because you may not concentrate for more than 45 or 30 minutes. And generally, a student psychology will be you can't concentrate more than 30 minutes. So it would be better if I conclude it here, and I will assure you that I'll be completing the entire booklet of ICAI maximum by 30th of April. So you people don't worry, you just subscribe to the channel and get the latest updates. As and when you receive the updates, just go through the video completely. Please don't skip any point, because while discussing I might be saying you some points which you will miss if you skip the video. Okay, hope this is helpful to you, and if you want me to explain anything more in detail, please comment below, I'll explain you, don't worry. If you like the video, please do share with your friends and help them to revise. Thank you.